morning and welcome to the Point for Friday, September 25th, 2020. Thank you to those of you joining us on the GBN Television Facebook page, the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel, the website www.gbn.gd, those of you watching on GBN TV channel 7, 11 and 20, and good morning to the listeners of Classic 105.5, 105.9. It is Open Line Friday here on the program. This is an opportunity for our viewers and listeners to phone in with anything that is happening that we need to be made aware of. Any comments, questions, queries, concerns, this is your chance to share. Call us on the landline 435-2041. Message us on the WhatsApp 435-2041. Please, only written messages on WhatsApp. You can also participate on the GBN Television Facebook page and the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel. Let's go to our first caller. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, birthday girl.
Good morning, Mr. Jeremiah.
You had a good time this morning.
Yes, I did.
I'm really glad that you're happy.
Yes, I was. Thank you very much.
I know that. I enjoyed it. I watched it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to go back to the book of Revelation, and I want to read about the 7 churches. So I want to start with the chapter 2, and the first church that I want to read about is the church in Ephesus. Unto the angel of the church of Ephesus write, these things says he that hath the 7 stars in his right hand, who walketh in the midst of the 7 golden candlesticks. I know thy works, and thy labor, and thy patience, and how thou canst not bear them which are evil. And thou hast tried them which say they are apostles, and are not, and hast found them liars, and hast borne, and hast patience, and for my name's sake has labored, and has not fainted. Nevertheless, I like that part. Nevertheless, I have somewhat against thee, because thou hast left thy first love. Remember, therefore, from whence thou art fallen, and repent, and do the first works, or else I will come unto thee quickly, and will remove thy candlestick out of his place, except thou repent. But this thou hast, that thou hatest the deeds of the Nicolaitans, which also I hate. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. To him that overcometh will I give to eat of the tree of life, which is in the midst of the paradise of God. We have to look at, now, the church in chapter 1, it describes what the 7 golden candlesticks are, what the different symbolisms, and so what they represent. And he's addressing people who belong to him. He is addressing the church, the body of Christ. And he says to that particular church, I have somewhat against it. Nevertheless, with all the things that you do, which I am seeing. So it tells us that Jesus is always looking at the church. He's watching the church, and he's seeing what is taking place. So he's giving us a warning. He said, nevertheless, I have somewhat against you, because you have left your first love. He said, remember from when you have fallen, and repent, and do the first work, lest I come unto you quickly and remove your candlestick out of its place. I want the church to take heed to this. And when we read the others, there's 7 of them. This is number 1. And he's saying that he has something because the church has left its first love. The church in Grenada has failed the Lord. We have failed him, so we have to turn back. Have a blessed day, Blossom, and enjoy the rest of your birthday.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jeremiah. I will try my best to do so. Open phone line here on the program, 435-2041. That's the landline and WhatsApp number. Please, only written messages on WhatsApp. Good morning, caller.
Yes, good morning to you.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm great.
Have a great day.
Thanks, you too.
No, in response to Mr. Jeremiah, I do appreciate and admire her very well, her courage. The church, the people represent the church. And whilst we might be saying, well, the Bible, and what we should be doing is who to do it. The people have to do is not reading the word, is also doing the word. And if we, the people who says that we are called out, are not doing what the word say, then we're not performing our role. So we, the people who are preaching there, have to change their ways and come out and do what they're supposed to do to get the others to follow. If we're going to do that, I think we're going to have a different. But if we just sit and talk, but not doing, and for people to see that we're doing, then it's very difficult to get a change. So it's the church, the people represent the church, and we have to change our ways and attitude as religious people who preach the Bible, who read the Bible, change and be examples for the others to follow. That's where the solution should come. But I want to bring something to you, ma'am, because over the years it had been happening. And it has to do with the economy and the small machine operators, those who have small amount of machines, the small players. And they're complaining. I've been speaking to someone this morning, and over the years, the same thing he's been experiencing. When the big projects start, you get the big machine operator bidding and getting the jobs, and they've been left aside. The economy is supposed to serve everybody. And if you have these large companies that is getting the contract, they should take this small machine operator and subcontract them, and the government have to look into this. You cannot leave the small 1 and 2 machine operators outside there with their families, where the large contractors are getting all of the job and they've been left aside. I would want the government to take note of that and to bring them in the loop to ensure that everybody survives. That's my plea this morning. Have a great day.
Thank you very much. You enjoy your day as well and have a good weekend. Somebody on WhatsApp says, now that buses are carrying their full complement of passengers, I trust that the police will strictly enforce the COVID regulations. I am already seeing drivers, conductors and passengers not wearing masks. They were already doing so when the regulations were stricter, so I could just imagine. Those of you who insist on wearing it, wear it. I don't know what else we can tell the people who do not. But those of you who are aware of how serious COVID is and the need to wear your masks and wash your hands and hand sanitizer if necessary, please continue doing what you have been doing and what you need to do. Not because everybody else doing it, you should jump on board. If you're the only person in the bus wearing a mask, then so be it. Just continue doing what you need to do. Take responsibility for yourself and don't follow the rest of them. Because we've been speaking to them and encouraging them to do what they need to, and it's falling on deaf ears. So I guess I would just change my angle of the plea. Let me go back to the phone lines. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, my wonderful lady.
Morning.
Happy birthday again.
Thank you very much.
And we are big people. We are big people. We're supposed to be big people with macho mind to do what is right in any case, Let's go young people and back to terrible. We can't please us. We can't tame us, So it's hard to please us, I'm going in Europe right now, England. And I listen to this morning on BBC this morning concerning a police officer arrest a young guy age 20 and shooting an officer in the police station in England. I find that strange. If you arrest a young man on the outside of a pond, we arrest him. From saying arrest him, we search him. Can I come to the station again and shoot police inside the station again? It's impossible, I find. That absolute purpose in England. Now in Germany, a BBC reporter asked a police officer in Germany for a good while, going around the police officers and them in Germany and whatnot, and he came back and he talked about what he has seen in Germany, brutality with police, arresting people and beating them bad in Germany. In France also too, they beating other black people in France and in police officers. They brutalize on the other racial thing going on in Germany and France and thing in any case, So people look only at America alone, but Germany and France have a lot of racial things going on down there. Now, talking about America now concerns Venezuela. They keep Venezuela embargo, they sanction them for a while, but they still want them to prosper. I find that strange. Now, there's some Venezuelan refugees in Guyana lately. I mean, down there for a while now, a few years now, they're in Guyana. America sending money for them right now, over $5 million for the Guyanese government to take care of them. I wonder who money they send, if it's Venezuelan money or American money they're giving down there. America had the money and a sanction to and they seize all the money and the gold and whatnot. So Trump giving them $5 million in Guyana to take care of the Venezuelan down in Guyana. I feel it's time that America ease up the embargo on people in the world and let everybody strive on. Embargo on Cuba, embargo on North Korea, on bag out this and in bag one, sanction and sanction. How could people survive in this crisis time, COVID-19? Where you are in bag on people and sanction countries. How could they survive? How could they turn things around? Obama got in belief for that thing in Cuba just when Obama was there for a while. He gave Cuba a release. Trump got to put back all the pressure back on Cuba again. For 50 years embargo, 50 years sanction. How you want people to survive in the country in this time? America, mighty America. You have a war going to be in China and America right now. War. You know, come on, man. I mean, Taiwan and war. Not Hong Kong, because China take over Hong Kong, no, they have a war again. I mean, come on, man. This war is not for that.
Okay.
You know, it was a bit peaceful and loving. Everybody should understand things, no, but America is bullying the world. It can't be bullied again.
Okay.
Let's change the system and thing, man.
All right, thank you.
We all be peaceful and thing, man.
Thank you very much. All right. Thank you very much, caller. Let me go to the Facebook. Somebody on Facebook says, it's a two-way street. It's a two-way street. As the saying goes, you can bring the cow to the well, can't make it drink water. Thank you all for the greetings. Somebody else on WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says, I would like the police to look into the vehicles with the loud music, especially at night, waking you up with the vibration in homes and shaking of windows. It is annoying. I feel sorry for their heirs, to be honest. That could never be healthy. Somebody else on WhatsApp says, so school children in buses jammed up going to school, yet all can't go to school, and we supposed to be virus free? Not necessarily, no known cases or no confirmed cases at the moment, but you never know what's happening. But I could understand what you're saying. If the buses are able to carry everybody, then schools should have everybody, possibly. I've seen that argument on social media as well. If things are moving a little closer to normal, then schools can possibly operate as normal. I've seen that argument. I'm not sure how I feel about it, to be honest. I'm not sure which side of the fence I'm on. Good morning, caller.
Blossom, I don't know if this thing is true, but people are complaining and say that in relation to the Ministry of Education and this laptop, which, of course, I continue to advocate, that is taxpayers' money that is spending and it's not coming from nobody personal pocket, and they're not doing us a favor, and we don't have to thank them. People are calling in and saying that, okay, they say you have to pay $50 for this laptop. I remember at NEC time, when you pay $25 for the book, they complain. They say NEC this and that, but they institute this thing about $50. Then you hear people come and complain this morning and say that when they call the ministry is actually saying to them that their child name is not on the list and the child cannot get a laptop. And the persons also alleges that the ministry and the government saying one thing on the radio, giving people the impression one thing, and when you go into the school, and it's a horse of a different thing. So I am saying to you, I find this thing is confusing. If you have a system by where you're supposed to pay $50 for the laptop, which, of course, I object to because it's taxpayers' money ain't coming from your pocket, why your name has to be done? It look like a political something that you're playing for. It's a political football that you're giving laptop who you want, and you don't give your name not on the list. And then if this allegation is true, I want to condemn that. You know, if you say you have a system, then let them go to the school, you pay your $50, you sign up the contract. I have no problem with signing up the contract if that is the policy of the government. Don't get me wrong, because it is important that we, the taxpayers who pay their salary and do things for this country, things be orderly and done properly and be accountable, and our monies have to be spent properly. So I'm not against the government saying, well, look, if you pay the $50, I mean, I'm against the $50, but let's just say that is the policy. And you sign the contract to make sure that everything is in order. If you do anything wrong, you pay or whatever the case is. I'm not against that. So I don't have a problem with that. But I am saying you can't be making big announcements as it alleges that you do that, and then when you come there, they're saying, you know what, your name not on the list, so they can't give. You know, I find this thing sometimes political, and that is what I was really, really hoping that wouldn't happen and guard against, because the bottom line is this, and let me tell all you, it's not that I want to disrespect anybody, but every single thing that this government does is coming from the taxpayers' money. It's not coming from nobody's personal pocket. They're not doing us a favor, and we don't have to thank them because we have entrusted them to run their affairs and manage the affairs of our country and to do things, make decisions in the best interest of the country to which we have entrusted them. For instance, I hear they complaining about it. The busmen that they give these sanitizers. And I want to tell the bus drivers that this is, again, taxpayers' money. People are talking about government money, but it's taxpayers' money. And if the government gives you the money to sanitize the bus, use it properly because it's taxpayers' money. So I just want to wind up by saying every single thing is taxpayers' money and nobody not doing us a favor, and you can't be treating people in that manner. If you have a policy, do it, but don't be saying one thing on the radio and doing something else. It is stressful and it's hypocrite.
Thank you very much. Just a correction, you're not paying $50 for the tablet. The $50 is a registration fee. That is what the ministry has said. You pay $50 to register for the tablet, and the tablet itself is free. There was a comment on WhatsApp, was it? Right. Why is the sign slow located on Lucas Street, HBLA Street, painted in the wrong direction? Why is it not a yield or stop sign? The slow, if you're talking about the vicinity of where the police give signal, the intersection that joins Lucas Street. That's the sign you're speaking about? That's the only painted one that I know about. The one that joins Lucas Street and that street in the bottom there. I believe they corrected it. Somebody else on WhatsApp says... Okay, WhatsApp frozen. Let's go to the phone lines. Good morning, caller.
Yes, my dear. I'll call back in any case, you know. I call on the government to buy buses for the school children. It's time that the government have buses for school children. It's over time and thing. Guess what? Who private bus and it's over time because want bus for school children directly. And after school, they go work as private. They go work as private when the time come and give out to the public. But it's time that the government get buses. That ain't taking long to come in greater. For the school children, man, it's over time and thing, man. I mean, come on, man.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let me restart WhatsApp in the meantime. And while that happens, let me go to the phone lines. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Blossom. Thanks for having me on the line.
Thanks for calling.
Yes. Well, I will start with complaining of taxpayers' money. Taxpayers' money have nothing to do with the people, right? Because why? If you give somebody something, it's not yours anymore, right? So if you pay your tax and the government do what they want to with it, no complaint and no envy, right? Because the money is not yours anymore. You have to pay tax to get what you want. You pay for a driver's license, and the government take the money. Why you pay for a driver's license? That mustn't affect you. So let us go to Australia now. No. Before we go to Australia, let's go with the mask and so on. You know, in the bus, but by people wearing masks at all, right? You know, but you know, is the virus, right? So then, you know, so the virus is there, but you know, but then wearing the mask is to protect yourself, because why? What you breathe in is the oxygen, right? And then what you breathe out is carbon dioxide, and that is poison. So when you breathe it in back again, you know, that's how you would get yourself wind up. So let us go to Australia now and Tanzania with those whales, right? You know, about over 400 whales die out, right? You know, over 400 whales, and they try to save some, but you know, they can't save all, you know. So then the virus is all about. So let us leave it there for now, you know, and we'll continue with that next time. So back to you in St. George's.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bido. Have yourself a good weekend. Facebook. In relation to the comments about the provision of the tablets or the devices for school children, somebody said the names are given by the schools. And that person says, because it's taxpayers' money, you have to be reckless with it, or you don't have to be reckless with it. Another Facebooker says, while I get this lady's point, speaking about the previous caller, while I get this lady's point, I still say the computer in school is a great idea and necessary. Times have changed and we've got to roll with the times. And someone is asking, why do you have to pay $50 to register? Is that refundable if it's free? I am not sure if it's refundable. Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning, Blossom. I'm very happy that I have an opportunity to wish you happy birthday today.
Thank you very much.
And I must say that I've seen you grown so much during the time that you have been doing that program, and it's not a year yet, right?
No, not yet. Almost.
No, it's not. It's much less than a year. So I dare say that if you're still there for your next birthday, I can imagine the sort of person, the sort of radio personality that you would be, or media personality.
Thank you very much.
So hats off to you, and continue to grow and continue to listen. I like your spirit. I really do like your spirit.
Thank you very much.
A couple, you're most welcome there. Two things. The one with the, someone spoke about the buses and the school kids. I think you can recall me saying since probably around February that the Achilles heel, the weakest part of our response to COVID will always be public transport. And I kept pleading long before the lockdown, let us do this thing right. We still haven't gotten it correct. I mean, you're telling me that children going to a school and meeting with other children in a once you get into the school, I mean, it's a very safe environment. And we have to practice so many protocols and restrictions. But yet the same children are traveling in a crowded bus with all different types of people. Some of them are very vulnerable. Some of them may have been in very close quarters. We feel comfortable about that. Another thing, everywhere you go these days, people want your name and your address and your phone number for possible contact tracing. Are they contact tracing anybody on a bus? Nothing about that one. I mean, it's just crazy, because you can get somebody from Sates coming into Grand Anse on a bus, and people are moving so widely, and we're very strict. I went to a function yesterday, and everybody, they have to sanitize you, and they have to take your name and your number. There's a few people, limited crowd, social distancing and everything. But they want to be able to trace you. Are we tracing the people who climb on the buses and get off and get on, and somebody else comes and meet by the time you take the bus from St. George's, from the bus terminus to Grand Anse? But many people, you turn over, the number of passengers turn over 2 or 3 times. This is very scary, very, very scary. And we better get this right, get it right. One other thing, again, that's very scary about transportation. I heard the police were speaking this week about, we always have that knee-jerk reaction. The young man who sadly lost his life on Friday, he fell off this truck. And I do extend my condolence to him and his family. He seemed to be a young man who was going to work and doing the right things, and his life was cut short. And the police came out and they said, wow, this is illegal. People should not be riding on trucks unless you have special permission. You're traveling workers and things of the sort. And I agree with that. But here's something, that Blossom. Every day we're seeing the police themselves carry in people in the tray of trucks, pickup trucks. You pick up somebody here, they arrest somebody there, they're in the tray of a truck. I hear the worst part. Sometimes they're handcuffed. They are handcuffed, so they can't even hold. They can't grab for support. If the truck swings or it has a sudden braking or it strikes something, these people are dead meat. Why do we continue to carry people? Why do the police continue to carry people in handcuffs in open back trucks. This is almost as a death sentence. So while it's correct to deal with the others that are happening, let the police be the example. We should be the example. And let us do it right, please.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Thank you very much. You enjoy yours as well. Before we take the break, I just wanted to co-sign what your concerns about the public transportation. That thought occurred to me, the public tracing for public transport, the contact tracing for public transport. We're not taking names, how many people actually pay attention to the bus that they're traveling on. If you're not quote-unquote friendly with the bus driver or the conductor, how many people know that I traveled on that bus on that day just in case? So I have had that thought occur to me about the contact tracing and the use of public transportation. And now that the buses are able to travel with the insurable number of passengers, then the concern once again raises. In my mind, if we're doing something, we're doing something. That's how I see it. And right now, things to me starting to get a little sketchy and shaky. Let's hope for the best. Let's take a quick break, pay some bills, and then we're going to come back inside. This is To The Point on Classic and GBN. We'll be right back.
Reading is too hard. Reading school books is lame. I'd rather read about children like me and cool things. I can read, but sometimes I don't even know why I have to. It makes no sense.
Why can't we read about things we like?
Reading is the key to unlocking all learning and ensuring that children reach their potential. Here's what the children have to say.
Make reading fun.
Teach me how to read, but let me practice reading with things I like to read.
Talk with me and read with me at least for a short time every day.
Let me tell you my own stories.
Read, learn, grow. The children are the future. Help them read, learn, grow. So parents, you play your part.
This message is brought to you by the OECS USAID Early Learners Program, funded by United States Agency for International Development.
Get away from your daily stress with a Grenada vacation at the Koyaba Beach Resort. Koyaba is located on the world-famous Grand Anse Beach and boasts 5.5 acres of beautiful garden. We offer excellent service, good food and drink, well-appointed rooms and friendly staff in a safe environment. Facilities include 2 restaurants, 2 bars, swimming pool, water sports, tennis, gym and body treatment rooms. Call 473-444-4129.
The best way to protect yourself from 2019 novel coronavirus is to avoid being exposed to the virus. Additionally, there are preventative actions that you can take to protect yourself and your family from the spread of respiratory viruses that can make you sick. These include stay home if you're sick, cover your cough, and wash your hands.
Welcome back to The Point. It's Open Line Friday here on the program, 435-2041. That's the landline number. That's also the WhatsApp number, 435-2041. Please only written messages on WhatsApp. And you can also participate on the GBN Television Facebook page and the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel. Let's go back to the phone lines. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Morning.
So every time certain people talk and they complain, must and always been justified. As for example, me. Now, I have complained not because I want to complain, but because I want it to be remedied, or a lot of things to be remedied. For example, somewhere in Tempe area, coming up by the Lacqua, where Lacqua and them live, by the recreation ground, there is a fencing, a metal fencing, that's in the vicinity of Dean Mattress entrance, the entrance to go to Dean Mattress's home. Now, the fencing is hanging over the road for months, if possible, years too. And the authority, whether the policemen, or whether the ministers, nobody could see that. But they want you, if as a driver possible, to go on the side of the road when the fencing is hanging over the road. And furthermore, they make it maybe easier, but I would say harder, because you have a lot of big trucks passing there. So you have to go at the real end of the road. So then the possibility exists that you would hit the fencing. Where are the people who's supposed to be seeing those things? The policemen, the this and the that. Are they doing their work? That is one. And also people are giving people wrong information. All over the world, you have certain things that are universal. I just use the word universal because I don't even know what it means. No, I guess it means everywhere you pass. This is the highway code. Is the highway code all over the world. It's universal. For example, I made a statement a few days or a few weeks back, and I always say it. Pedestrian crossing should be only in white, and all over the world it is being marked in white. You have 3 lines. The major pedestrian crossing, and the 2 want to tell you, well, look, you're coming. You also have to have signs saying pedestrian crossing is at the front. Look in Tempe by Mr. Dikal area there. They have a place where they say how many miles to Ganetang. In other words, a board that gives you information. I don't even know the name of the board, so I'll call it a board. No, yet for all, you have somebody selling and blocking the board. Tell me, what's the use of the board? So this is what the policemen or the authorities should see and try to correct. They're correcting people who live in within the law. In other words, they're going at people as me, so who live in within the law. The bad people, as they would say, seem to be the good people, and the good ones seems to be the bad, because the good ones are easily attacked, and they take it, and they pay perhaps when the time comes for them to pay. Do what we're supposed to do, what we're supposed to do. When I talk, everybody would say, if I correct, I'm not known. If I correct a mistake, everybody would, maybe a lot of people would say I'm wrong. But when one man corrects the thing, and he tell you, what is unknown? Yes, it's right. Thanks, that's all.
Thank you very much. Thank you, caller. Somebody on Facebook. I want to zero in on Carriacou and PG Martinique. We heard that finally Bishop's College is getting the attention now, and the photos ups the administration enjoyed. This school being fallen apart for years, and they did nothing. Plus, the school has been asking for a pole for the high jump and never got it. Also, look at TAMCC. The holes so big they have to duct tape the holes because you can stay outside and juke a student in the TAMCC school. So I am calling on the authorities to give TAMCC the same attention as Bishop's College. It got no. The minister is... I'll leave all that part. Sick people still laying on the boats to seek medical attention in Grenada. Remember, that was one of our campaign promises to get done first. 2 years plus, nothing has changed. That TAMCC comment, the security has been calling here often to speak out about it. So I'm sure he's hoping that the school gets attention like Bishop's College as well. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Morning.
2 points this morning. I wish to congratulate you on your birthday.
Thank you.
And the second point is, most important, I want to congratulate you on how you conduct the program. And when people are speaking, you don't interrupt them. I want to give you thumbs up for those. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, caller. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Respect goes both ways, and just like I expect and have been getting respect from the callers and the writers, I do the same thing as well. So thank you very much for noticing and pointing it out. Appreciate it. Somebody on WhatsApp says, it's like Grenadians don't listen. The education minister said forms 4 and 5 will be the first to get tablets. Also, another host saying the tablets are not protected, which is false. All the tablets come with a case. Another comment. In 1989, the OECS Islands met in Grand Beach Hotel at the time in Grenada to plan the way forward for the CSME. One of the plans discussed was universal secondary school education for 11-plus students by 2004. Part of the plans also was that a few secondary schools around the island should be well equipped with skills program to cater for students who are not highly academic. I was reliably informed that money was given by the World Bank in 2001 to facilitate these programs. Why 31 years later we have so much challenges in our secondary schools? So many children seem to be failing. Really, I need to inquire on that. Let me go to the phone lines. Good morning, caller.
Good morning to you, ma'am.
Morning.
And good, let me say happy birthday to you.
Thank
I wish
you.
God's blessing and all the rest.
Thank you very much.
I think we more confusion in ourselves instead of trying to help to solve some of the problems. We will never get it right. And I don't think none of the countries in the Caribbean or in the world have got it right yet with this COVID thing. So if we have suggestions, perhaps we could use them to the authorities instead of criticizing everything. Because we would never get it right. Right? Because somebody just told you that what the education minister said before. So people just take their own part of it and go with it. For instance, Ms. Abon was saying that all the money the government spend is taxpayers' money. And that we know is not true. Government get loans, government get grants, government get gifts. People, friendly countries, other citizens in the diaspora give things to government that utilize within the nation. And we don't have to, I don't think she has to repeat every time she speaks that it's taxpayers' money, because we all know that it's taxpayers. Tell me which country in the world that doesn't live from taxpayers, that they don't pay tax. Which country? From the Bible, it tells you that Christ said, give to Caesar what is Caesar. You should pay your taxes, so we must pay tax if the tax is not properly spent. Lambast the government on it, but everything is about this government is the taxpayers' money, and it's taxpayers' money, and you are a servant. She was a servant too. She works in a bank. She was a servant to us, just the same way. And every person that worked with somebody, they are servant. So let us educate people. She have a lot of intelligence, but I mean, going on this road every time. So it's about taxpayers and about you are servant and you're the chief servant and whatnot. Once you work in, you are servant to somebody, and somebody must be a servant. Somebody must work. I think we could do better if we strain our ideas together and criticize the government when they need to be criticized, and praise them where we feel that they do something right. Because we will never get it totally right in Grenada, not getting it totally right, the rest of the world wouldn't get it totally right. No time at all, they wouldn't get it totally right. Christ go to heart and come back and we still will be wrong. All of us will be saints when Christ come back. There will be still wrong people here. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, caller. I like the part where you said if we all come together. I think it's important when we work together, and we make greater strides when we work together. So I co-sign that part of what you said. Somebody on Facebook says, it's indeed scary. Few people are wearing masks. The country is preparing to open up for tourists with regulations being sketchy or non-existent. We're already opened. Do we as Grenadians think we're immune to COVID, or is the mighty dollar more important? Let's all work to keep Grenada safe. Let me go to the phone lines. No, let me go to WhatsApp. Sorry. Somebody on WhatsApp says, I want to thank NDC once again for starting the conversation on decriminalization of marijuana. Now we heard the NNP is trying to dip their foot in a smart way by claiming they were considering it, which Prime Minister said not in his time. I think it's good for Grenada, especially with the tourism sector, because lots of tourists would like to come home, but because of the laws of the country concerning marijuana, and they use it for medical reasons, so it's difficult to visit our beautiful Spice Island, and with the laws being changed, we will see a rise in that sector. Actually, the current administration has pointed out that earlier this year, I believe it was in June, June. I think the story was carried on GBN on June 25th, if my memory serves me correctly. That was when the Prime Minister has said he can reconsider his position on it. And the NDC came out with their stance last Friday, or made their stance known publicly last Friday. So the NNP or the administration is saying we were first, for lack of a better phrase. Let me go to the phone lines. Good morning, caller.
Hi, morning.
Morning.
How you doing?
I'm good.
You know, it's amazing how things happen. Your last caller there, who happened to be my good friend, dealt with that subject matter that I was going to deal with. I tried getting through a few times, not luckily, you might say. Blossom, we live in a world that we should understand. Arrogance is the most detrimental aspect of behavior that can be exhibited by human beings. It was the cause of the downfall of the angels, as the Almighty pointed out to us. And even though you might say it's the demons that are controlling this earth, it doesn't mean that that's the way we're supposed to be going. Appreciation is diametrically opposite to arrogance. Humility is diametrically opposite to arrogance. And when you have people with an attitude that in everything they are confrontational to the extent that they despise others, their actions and words belies them to that extent, you can't have good relations. You can't have a world being a better place. If we are going to expect our children to grow up with decency, discipline, we have to help them to understand appreciation from the time they are very little. This is why God Almighty, for example, said to us, honor thy father and thy mother, so that thy days will be long on the face of the earth. If you are rebellious, you're arrogant, you're pompous, and obnoxious, anything and everything your mom and dad do, or your family, and by extension, the government that controls the situation, and you have a negative attitude towards it, it will never redound to your benefit or the societal benefit at the same time too. So when people are continuously pronouncing language that says you don't have to thank because you're doing what is required of you, fine, you do what is required of you. But at the same time, if you appreciate it, your attitude and reaction to it would develop the situation a lot better. And that's where the problem is. And I've heard Miss Aban, who I happen to know a bit. The lady I used to talk to a little bit at one time on the phone every so often. I met her face to face. She and I met face to face. And I am yet to understand that she's not learning. That kind of attitude is not getting anywhere. At least your message gets across a lot better and easier to people if your words are chosen in a better way. And to be honest with her, and whoever has that kind of attitude, I mean, it's not only she that have this kind of obnoxious attitude in the process. We know another caller who is even worse than her. So, we understand that kind of thing. But the fact that appreciation exhibited by people would create a better society, I think you should let children adopt it. Otherwise, we will have a world that is just too bad or too hard to handle. And so this is why it is a good thing to appreciate. But at the same time, Miss Blossom, I have a problem with and it doesn't make it sound personal. with that whole tablets distribution thing. The $50, I think, is out of the question because of the fact that, as she always points out, is taxpayers' money. On top of that, I am wondering how much of a use children will be able to handle with the whole issue of the internet in Grenada. You know, I wake up sometime 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm sure I might be the only person trying to use the Wi-Fi in that area. And all you have is spinning.
Okay.
So how, when you have 30, 40, 60, and 120 children trying to use the same internet in the same location, how is it going to, how the capacity is going to go along with the amount of tablets that are there?
Okay.
And I've questioned it all the time. Take care, be good.
Thank you very much. There was something earlier you said that I wanted to respond to what you said, but what's on my mind is the internet. It depends on the bandwidth of the internet. At home, we usually have I don't want to say slower, but less bandwidth than you use in like business places or Wi-Fi in malls and schools and so on. So once they get one that can handle, let's say 100 people using it at the same time, it could work. Let's take another quick break and then we're going to come back and wrap up this morning's To The Point. We'll be right back.
Reading is too hard. Reading school books is lame. I'd rather read about children like me and cool things. I can read, but sometimes I don't even know why I have to. It makes no sense.
Why can't we read about things we like?
Reading is the key to unlocking all learning and ensuring that children reach their potential. Here's what the children have to say.
Make reading fun. Teach me how to read, but let me practice reading with things I like to read.
Talk with me and read with me, at least for a short time every day.
Let me tell you my own stories.
Read, learn, grow. The children are the future. Help them read, learn, grow. So parents, you play your part.
This message is brought to you by the OECS USAID Early Learners Program, funded by United States Agency for International Development.
The countdown is on to win free groceries for 1 year with the Food Fair. Just a few more days left to shop for a chance to win up to $8,400 in groceries. Look out for the live grand draw on October 9th, 2020. Win free groceries for 12 months, free groceries for 6 months, or free groceries for 3 months. Promotion runs until September 30th, 2020. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back to The Point. This is the Open Line program. Let me go right back to the phone lines and then I'm going to come to WhatsApp. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Mr. Welsh. How are you?
I'm good.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
Your humble servant.
Hi, good morning, servant.
Yes, listen, I heard Emily Pede crowing and saying that how she feel the pain for Bishop College. But I hope she feel the pain for TAMTC too.
I mentioned you this morning, you know.
Yes. I didn't want to call back. I said she feel. I don't tell you television how she feel the pain for Bishop College, but I hope she feel the pain for TAMTC with a bone lock drop tape on the school.
Let's hope.
All right.
Thank you very much. And I mentioned you this morning. Let's hope it's the first step in a long step to refurbishing our educational institutions. Good morning, caller.
Just quickly, boss. Any monies that the government receives, even though it's from grants, is for on behalf of the people, right? So even though whether it's taxpayers' money from a next country or taxpayers from this thing, whatever monies that received into the bank on behalf of the government, it is for our money, and there's no way that disrespect anybody. And if people want, I am not telling people that they're not to say thanks, but I'm telling you, the government is not doing us a favor because we are paying them so we don't have to thank them. But if people want, I'm not against anybody thanking them, but we don't have to thank all because we pay all you. And let me tell you something, Mr. Bridgman, with due respect to you, I was never a public servant. Public servant has been paid by the government of Grenada. I've worked in a bank all my life. He always keep on telling me I'm not a public servant, so I don't have to give account to nobody. Put it in your pipe and smoke it. But
thank you very much, caller. I've told you about the put it in your pipe and smoke it part. I don't like it. Somebody on WhatsApp says, it hurts me to see how we as Grenadians are creating a generation of lawless citizens when we disregard laws and principles. We break all laws here in the name of eating our food, and when we travel, we fit into it nicely. I guess it's okay to be lawless in your country. It hurts me to see what has become of the Caranage. It seems as though the fish market has moved to the Caranage. We have a fish market, so why can't we use it? People are allowed to make anywhere they choose to convert into shanty towns, and then we blame the young generation. Please, let's restore the Caranage to the beauty it once was. I co-sign that Caranage bit. Somebody else on WhatsApp says, good morning, this NMP government is full of secrecy. For example, the cell phone scandal with one hand of their activists. The Minister of Education holding meetings behind the coconut milk farmers' back. What's happening to the investigation into these things? Marketing Board, the shrimp project in Victoria. The government is not willing to renew the temporary teachers' contract, but I know of 2 retirees who are still contracted with the government. One is the head of physical planning, the other is the personal assistant to the minister. I can go on, but I would leave it here for now. Good morning, caller.
Hello, good morning, Blossom.
Good morning.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
May you have a blessed and fruitful day.
Thank you very much.
And long life and prosperity. Blossom, I just want to, I know I'm going to be brief. I want to compliment all the students who, passed the CXC with high honors, and those who didn't, I know, do it, don't give up. And also the parents and the teachers, the ministry, and so on, because I know the school was closed in March, and I know it was a tedious exercise, and I compliment the patience, the effort, the sacrifice for everybody for where we are today, and may God bless everyone. And then, Blossom, I just want to say, I don't know if you got a copy, talking about the conversation on the marijuana, if you got a copy of this man, this pollster, what's his name? Look, I forget his name now. Yes, I think he did a poll in 2018. And then I heard last week, Tuesday gone, at the press conference, they said that the cabinet committee was set up with the Minister of Agriculture, Health, and Legal Affairs. So I just heard one caller say they're happy that the NDC started the conversation. But I know the conversation is there, and it started, and everybody should take on board as Grenadian to give the input. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you very much, caller. I was trying to remember the name of the person you were referring to, but it's on the tip of my tongue and it's just not coming. But I know what you're speaking about. Somebody on Facebook says, why Clifford don't want to hear taxpayers' money? It is when the administration do all the foolishness with our money, we have to talk about it. Look, the fowl farm, the shrimp farm, where there was a turning of the sword, and even the PM who named himself as an investor in the Victoria shrimp farm. So we have to talk about these things. Passport was sold for that said project, so we have to call them out. Another Facebooker says, while I disagree with the caller, they say it is Miss Aban. Most of the time, people should learn to respect others' opinions, whether they like it or not. Leave Miss Aban alone. Let me go to WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says, this point should be noted. NDC increased the seed money from $150 to $200. It was scheduled to gradually increase with time. Unfortunately, the Great Recession they inherited could not increase it as it should, and the short space of time did not allow them for further increase. So when criticisms are made, make them with those facts in mind. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah. There are responsible governments around the world who don't squander their taxpayers' money. And the reflection of squandering taxpayers' money is that people are constantly begging in St. George's. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, caller. Somebody on WhatsApp says, I want the people of Grenada to wear their masks. Grenadans, you all must listen to BBC News. They are pleading to the world to wear your masks. Another WhatsApper says, you should correct wrong information. The world is listening. And I do so when I have the correct information. When I have it, I correct them, don't I? And somebody else on WhatsApp, time to wind down. I beg to differ with that caller concerning what's taxpayers' money. Any grants received are on behalf of taxpayers, not for the ministers. Any loans taken have to be paid back, not by the ministers, but by the taxpayers. So yes, in a very real sense, all money spent by government is taxpayers' money. Somebody else on making the last rounds. Let me see. And congratulations. All right, thank you very much. All right, I think those are all the comments that we have and all the time that we have. Peter Wickham. That's the name I was trying to remember. Thank you very much, Andrea. That's the pollster that the caller was speaking about, the name I was trying to remember. Peter Wickham. Thank you very much. Final comment on Facebook. The administration has a track record of mismanagement of our tax money. That's the end of my time today and the end of the program. Thank you so much for participating. Once again, thank you so much for all the birthday greetings. I see them all on the WhatsApp, Facebook, the various platforms. Those of you who have called today, appreciate it. Thank you for making my day extra special. I am going to continue the celebrations as I leave the GBN building, but I would keep the motto in mind to not drink and drive, and don't drive and drink, don't text and drive, don't drive and text. Thank you once again, and thank you for tuning in to the program. Thank you for the compliments on the way that I conduct the program. I try my very best to give everybody their airtime as long as they keep it respectful. Thank you very much. Have yourselves a productive Friday, a blessed and productive weekend. Be safe in all that you do. Be safe, please, and thank you. Wear your masks. Please walk with your hand sanitizers. Wash your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds. COVID-19, we do not have any known cases, but you never know. The airports are opened. Have yourselves a very blessed weekend. Bye-bye.